Hey everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina, back with another Scrappin' on a Dime episode. We're still using the Seen and Noted Pebbles 6x6 paper pad along with the Lawn Fawn So Lovely stamp set. So let's go ahead and get started. Today I thought I would walk you through all of the steps. Usually I get a couple of things ready before I even start, so I thought I would just kind of go through my cutting of my paper and stuff like that. So I have a piece of Paper Tray Inks white cardstock, and I'm going to cut this down to 5.5 inches. And then I'm going to use my Score Buddy. So I'll just put one of these aside. We only need one piece. And then I'm going to grab my Score Buddy, and I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. So in the Score Buddy, it has a little asterisk right there on where to score at. Okay, and now I'm just going to go ahead and start my stamping. I'm going to be using the little sewing thread, the button, the needle, the sewing needle, as well as the Cute as a Button. And in my last episode, I cut my Cute as a Button into 2 pieces so that I can use it as a straight line instead of a 2 line. So I'm just going to line this back up, and I'll put that onto my acrylic block. I'm going to use some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Now my ink is getting a little dry, so I have pulled out my black Memento marker just in case it doesn't stamp really clear. It does seem to be working fine for my sentiments. So I'm going to do Cute as a Button down at the bottom. And then I'll take my little sewing thread, we're going to put that right above the Cute as a Button. So that one's stamped pretty clear. Nice crisp image there. Then I'll take the sewing needle, again inking it up with my Tuxedo Black ink, and I am going to make it look like the needle's coming off the thread. Oops. And then I have my little button. And I'll just stamp that right over to the side here. Alright, so I pulled out 2 Copic markers. I'm going to be using BG07 and R08. The R08 I'm going to be coloring in the button with, and I'm not going to do any shading or anything like that, so I'm just coloring it in. And then for the sewing thread, I'm just going to take the BG07 and just come off from the side over here. And I'm just leaving that very simple, just like that. And now what I'm going to do is take some pattern paper. So I picked out a couple different pieces of pattern paper. I have a scrap left from the first card I worked on. Then I have this floral pattern and this polka dot pattern. And I think I'm going to cut these down to a couple different sizes. Let me just move my card out of the way. And my paper trimmer. So the first one I'm going to cut is this polka dot one, and I'm going to cut this at 1 inch. And then I'm going to take this floral one, I'll cut this one down at 3/4 of an inch. And then my floral one, I'll cut that at 1/2 inch. or not my floral, my heart one here. So I'll cut that at 1/2 inch. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and make some just little banner pieces that are going to come off the top. So let me just get my scraps out of the way here. So I'm going to use this polka dot, then the floral piece, and maybe I'll put the floral piece over here. And then we have our little heart. So what I'm going to do is just take my scissors and cut a little banner end, and I'm just going to cut a little slit in the middle, and then I'm going to go from the corner to where I cut that slit to cut my flag shape or my banner end, and then I'll do that on my other 2 pieces. Alright, I have those cut out. I'm just going to take some adhesive and start putting those down. And I've been using this stamp runner. This is the Tombow stamp runner. And I picked mine up at Michael's. And if you go to Michael's now, they're on clearance for $4.99, normally $7.99. And the refills are also on clearance for $2.99. So I stocked up on those. That was just this past week. So I picked up a couple of those. It's a great little, and it gives you a chance to work with it before it actually is permanently adhered. So one thing about the ATG I don't like is that once it's down, it's down. So what I'm doing now is just laying these in different lengths coming down from the top of the card. I'm just trying to decide there how far down I want to come on this one. Then I'll take my scissors and trim that off. Now if you want to, my Copics did bleed through my cardstock, so you can always take a piece of pattern paper if you don't want to see that. And I have a whole bunch of scraps, different scraps left over from my collection here, and you can always add that to the inside. I'm not going to do that right now. So, but if you want to hide that, the Copic coloring there, because it does bleed through the paper, because it is an alcohol-based ink. And then the last thing I want to do is I have some of these enamel dots, which are like my newest obsession. And these are from my Mind's Eye. I'm just going to pull these out, and I think I have another package sitting here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the blue. I'm going to go with the medium-sized ones, and I'm just going to put one at the top of each of the banners. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Memento marker, and I'm going to, I was trying to decide, do I want to outline this or do I want to go around the whole edge? I'm going to go around the whole edge. So I added my stitching to the front of my card. The last thing I'm going to do is I decided I will do the little lining on the inside of my card to cover the Copic coloring there. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this down. I cut a piece, it's a scrap piece that was left over. So it was 4 inches by 6, so I cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of mat that on the inside here. And then the last thing I want to do is I'm going to take some glossy accents, and I'm going to add a little glossy accents to my button. And that is my card for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you next time.